live.
Fucking live.
I gotta remember how to do this.
Who are we? Oh, wait, we gotta wait until we know for sure.
No.
All right, well, fine. We're introducing. I am Days.
Hello. I'm
Hello.
the Vanilla Boy.
Hello.
Spelled with an E, not an I,
The Vanilla Boy.
as explained in the prior clip on the guys.
So we're starting a new podcast.
Yeah.
This will be my third one. We first had the Conscious Cast with you, me, Seth AM, and Mad Dog Miller.
Yeah.
And then me and Seth AM have our own podcast called Matter of Fact. And then now it's going to be me and the Vanilla Boy on So Would You Say?
And you can catch all those on YouTube specifically
Yeah, you can watch all those on YouTube.
and Twitch.
We got Matter of Fact with me and Seth.
What's the at for
What, Matter
Matter
of Fact?
How do you get to Matter of Fact?
You literally, if you're going to look it up on YouTube, you have to look up Matter of Fact and then look up psychoanalysis, and then it's the first one that pops up. But if you look up just Matter of Fact, good luck. I wanted to touch on the difference between all three of them. Like, what do you think the Conscious Cast mainly is, if you had to kind of condense it?
I mean, to be honest, it's like a hangout sesh.
It's
for
pretty.
sure.
It's pretty hangout.
There's like a lot of loose parameters on it, but it's pretty. I want to say forward moving. I'm trying to think of a better.
Progressive?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like we start off with specific questions and let tangents go and just hang out.
Fair. Yeah. I like it because it's, well, all of them are going to be once a week, but the Conscious Cast sees all four of our characters as the weeks progress, which I really
True.
like. And then Matter of Fact is me and Seth talk about like science and philosophy and everything like that. We do topics as well, and usually it takes about 2 or 3 hours to finish an episode.
Well spent.
Right. You learn a lot.
Yeah.
But then me and the Vanilla Boy brought it to my attention that we could start doing more things. Especially with me and him, because usually if it's not all four of us for the Conscious Cast, I'm hurtled up in my fucking room. So it had me brainstorm, and I was like, if me and the Vanilla Boy had a podcast, what would we even talk about? But
Dude, I know what I want to talk about right now.
oh yeah, what do you
My
want to talk
thighs
about?
look crazy.
The eyes. I hate that there's a lag now. It's gonna be late. Watch.
Yeah. Fair. Well, it's down here. It's in real time.
Fuck. Small screen.
Yeah.
Small screen problems.
Dude, it's average size.
So why would you say?
It's funny because I was explaining this to Keaton last night. It's like a saying that I've said many a times. Now I hear
Facts.
you and Seth saying it. It's almost like a part of debate now.
Facts.
And I think that when you and I are having one-on-one conversations, there's a lot of debate going on. There's a lot of high energy. There is, I guess the only word is like stimulation. There's a lot of stimulation going on in our conversations. And I think that the parameters of the things that we talk about invoke a lot of so would you say.
Fair. I also I love the whenever we were like first thinking of like what would even the first like what the fuck would we talk about? It's like I see it being very controversial.
Yeah.
I see it being very funny.
That's why I want to make clips.
Yeah.
I feel like this would be easy content to clip for people to be mad.
Yeah, because we're speaking on such touchy subjects.
Yeah.
Like, me and Seth are like, oh, what's the history of science and philosophy? And it's like, what's the first fucking few ideas that we had? We were going to talk about the music industry.
We were going to talk about, like, people specifically.
Yeah, we were going to go down just celebrities as topics.
Which I would still be willing to do.
I would be very willing to do that.
But I think that you decided that it would be best to like stray away from like individually surrounding an episode around one person and more so like the idea of their character, where they are in the industry that they're in and shit like that.
So what's the first topic that we chose?
We chose Clout. Felt fitting to, if we weren't going to be talking about people specifically, it would
Fair.
give us a lot of avenue to break into. So,
Clout goes pretty hand in hand with that.
yes,
Did you have a intro into that?
I did.
The segue.
So, would you say that Clout is the pinnacle of fame?
I definitely think you can't get to the pinnacle of fame without it.
Fair. Do you think it's the most important thing?
It's so tough, bro, because clout can be such a double-sided blade.
True.
Clout can be the reason that you get assassinated.
True.
It's like, no, that's not to say that you didn't have to be that, what's the right word here? Influential to be able to be shot. So
Also
it's like,
true.
So it's like, I get that there's a lot of good that comes with the assassination, but clout is very tricky territory. But I would say that, yes, you have to have an abundant amount of it to reach the pinnacle. Like, Trump has a lot of clout.
Yeah.
That's the reason he got shot.
Andrew Tate has a lot of clout. That's why he has to go to jail.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
So what's the exact question? So would you say clout is the pinnacle of fame?
Yeah.
Yeah, sadly. I hate that. I mean, it's great. Clout is great. Even getting haters is fantastic.
Yeah.
I did not realize how much I liked it.
Dude, it's like I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like fuel to the fire.
Very much.
Which is crazy because the guy, it's almost like the world speaking to me in a way. The guy at the fight that was like, which our homie Mad Dog beat the shit out of Connor.
Yeah.
And I walked him out and somebody was booing me. And he came up to me after the event, was like talking to me. He was like, I was just doing that to see if you could handle it. And while I don't really give a shit about that because I'm
Right.
like, I already knew that. But
Right.
it's like the world is putting me in a position to take that on and see how I take it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like,
I definitely think it's a shit test.
yeah, for sure.
It's like, it's important to be able to know when people are actually critiquing you versus just hating on you.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say when people hate, it helps.
Yeah, it's like competition.
True.
You like make me just want to try even harder because you're mad.
Also, you made them mad.
Yeah.
It's like they have to take you seriously for them to hate you.
Yes.
That's like one of the dubs that I recognize.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't I get to be the one to make them mad and I'm not even doing anything other than just being myself. I'm like, I like doing these things like performing and making music and hanging out with my friends and getting him hyped for his fight and then it's like they're mad about that. It's like, what are you mad about?
Right, exactly. There's literally nothing going on that they should just be outright hating on. But it helps.
Yeah.
Like getting all the boos. It's like what the dude said whenever Keaton was going into the cage. What did he say? He said, whether you love him or hate him, you're going to be seeing his fights.
Yeah, you're going to be tuning in.
That's exactly what kind of character that he wants to be anyway.
Yep.
That's what he wants. If you're booing him, you're giving him what he wants.
Yes, bro. Yes.
It's like, I don't understand how people can't see through that. Like, I feel like even if the people that have been hating on us heard us say these things out loud, which they have,
Yeah.
it pisses them off more.
It's how I was saying, like, I'm baiting them in the clip.
Baiting is a phenomenal word.
And we talked about baiting on the Conscious Cast. Like, if you were taking the bait on Patty the Batty, it just makes you want to talk about him. If you're taking the bait of, like, sometimes you set up jokes, and then somebody takes the bait, it gives you the leeway to keep going with that joke. And it's like,
yes,
if somebody takes the bait, it's just giving us more and more to work with, such as, like, making a video, responding to a comment, if they're giving us stupid comments, and then Keaton's response is fucking hilarious.
Thanks for the question, dipshit.
Yeah, it's like you are asking for that, and then also
Yes.
you're if you're asking, then we're willing to give.
Yes, because the last thing you want is someone to ignore it.
Yes.
The last thing I would rather have hateful comments than no comments.
Yeah, I feel that.
To be honest,
It makes it easier to keep talking.
I agree. It literally gives us post-worthy content.
And then I'm like, okay, I'm thinking about the people that can't handle that. Like, they think so outside of themselves that when the hate comes in, they're like, oh, I should just quit. They're probably right. Like, they probably know more about this than I do.
And I had all those fears. I had every single one of those fears for years. I still have some of them. What would you say to
So what did you say?
to your question? Yes.
The pinnacle of fame.
Yes. Do you agree with that?
I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I think if you're really good at something, but you don't know how to sell yourself to the world, then you're not going to get anything from it other than being good at it.
It's your mom.
Oh, what's up, Mom?
Yeah. There's a level of attention that you have to get to reach that level of fame.
Because I'm doing a podcast. Me and David are starting a podcast together.
Yeah, me and Seth did one yesterday. We do it early in the morning, so we decided to do this one also early in the morning.
Yeah, I figured it'd be better getting up with the sun
This has been
to do something like this.
This has been in my regular routine anyway.
Yeah, I'm trying to get myself up earlier and earlier over time.
And then the Conscious Cast, we do it like 8.
Yeah.
It's gonna
David's
be
bedtime.
Yeah. It's gonna be black outside whenever
Oh my God,
we're
bro.
doing some here recently.
I'm so excited for no sunlight.
Dude, you got sunlight?
True.
You got your what is that thing?
The UV lamp. My mom got me that.
Oh. It's much appreciated.
Yeah. That's right.
Facts. Clout. I'm trying to think about because what, fucker energy?
Yeah.
So,
I think.
so we embody fucker energy.
Yeah.
And what that is it's very, very ironic. But at the bottom of it, it's real. And I'll give you an example. We do it on the Conscious Cast all the time. I'm trying to think of like a clip that perfectly shows exactly. The best one I can think of right now is calling everybody cretins.
Yeah.
In the first clip. Because what Seth does is he sets me up. He says, oh, so you're a writer. And I'm like, yes. And then now I am giving up a platform to brag, essentially, to flex.
Yes.
I'm like, yes, this wonderful vocabulary that I've already displayed for all of you. And then there's a pause. And then I call everybody cretins. And it's like what I'm doing is capitalizing on the camera and mic in my face to rub it in everyone's face. Because there's a lot of humor I find in it. But there's a lot of genuine in it as well.
So is the humor that you find from the reaction you know you'll get when you say things like that?
There's definitely a lot of things that make it funny, but that is one of them. Also, another thing is it's like that's the easiest way to tap into it because I was always too terrified to tap into that. So I think having like a smug look on my face and saying it, it's like whenever I was like, I empathize, and then I make like that smile on the fucking clip where we're talking about Nazis.
Yes.
Because I'm like, man, I hope somebody says something.
And I can't help myself, but I
Yes.
have to. I'm like, oh, okay, so.
Yes, bro. That's the only way I was able to reply to that comment. How I replied to it, bro? A year ago? No way. Unless I was ironic to the point where you couldn't even take what I was saying seriously.
Because I have a lot of opinions.
That's not what I said.
Yeah,
I said important things to
things,
say.
yes.
Yes. And then that was like the least irony that I put into it. That's like, have you ever heard that irony is how you get into things actually? Because it's too embarrassing to take seriously at first.
I have never heard that.
I don't remember who
but
said that to me.
Me and Seth have talked a lot about that, and one of the things that we were talking about was vocabulary.
Mm.
A lot of the things that I say that are popular amongst like a lot of people are almost embedded in my vocabulary from a stem of irony. Like there was this kid that I went to school. He moved from Connorsville to our school probably when I was like a sophomore, and he hung out with the crowd that was like into rap heavy, and they had all this slang, and
yes,
he came to my school, and my school is a hick school. Everybody's into country. I mean, there's people that are into other stuff, but it's predominantly country people. So he's saying like finna and bet and like all these
gang,
like
gang.
Yeah, like all these slang words, and me and Shank were like making fun of him. We're like, oh, okay, bet, bro, bet.
Facts.
And it's like now I'm like, bet, bro.
Yes. Rap music is a perfect example.
Oh yeah,
perfect example. I always fucking get it. Like,
get it,
dude.
yeah.
I thought that was so stupid when I first heard that. I was like, well, that's so fucking dumb. Like, get it. As soon as I repeat it, it's already started.
It's embedding into your brain, bro.
So that's kind of what I'm doing with I keep calling it fucker energy, but if you boil fucker energy down, there's confidence.
True.
There's flexing, which has to have confidence, but it's more than confidence because it's a little more than confidence, especially with how you do it. Because I'm like bringing to the forefront what I think my best qualities are, which is confidence in a way.
Dude, being a fucker is inviting a lot of heat, and if you do that without confidence, you will get destroyed.
Dude, okay. I just used to think that I could never handle it. That's another thing. So now it's like accepting the challenge of like, which is what I did yesterday on the Matter of Fact episode with Seth, where what the fuck was said? That girl was commenting. She was like, "Wow, some people just really reveal themselves with what they say with your friend there." And she was talking to Seth, so she was talking about me. I was like, "Oh yes, I'm a genius. I can tell. That's how I sound. Like just a dickhead." And then she, like you said, she attached herself to that and was like, wow, love the ego on this one. And so now it's like she is doubling down and taking something that I said seriously enough to reinvest
She's taking the bait.
She's taking the bait.
Yeah.
And then I was able to triple down on it, essentially. I was just like, oh, yes, I'm so smart. Like, I could just now, I don't know. There's something about it that is, it's tricky territory because
it's empowering.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
So it's like that's where a lot of my high energy comes in when Mad Dog's around.
Yeah.
Because he
brings full on fucker energy.
Yes, he knows very well what Clout is.
Yeah.
And he knows very well how to give it to his friends.
True.
And he will do that.
True.
All the time.
Any chance he can get.
Dude, no matter how out of pocket I've been, he will validate the behavior.
Yeah.
I cannot think of it. Well, that's not true.
Oh yeah.
When I dude, I hope Mad Dog watches this because I've never brought this up to him, but it's funny. So we were in the back of his car. Not to get off topic too much, I'll make it quick. But we were in the back of his car, and I was hanging my jaw out like this, and I was like, "Keaton, would you be friends with me if I looked like this?" And then he was like, "Yeah, bro, I'd still be friends with you." And I was like, "Would you still be friends with me if I sounded like this?" And I was like, and then he was like, "Yeah, bro, would you still be friends with me?" I was like, "No way, I would not still be friends with you." And then it just got quiet. I was like, "All right, I didn't get clout for that one." Yeah. So good thing I don't look like that, bro. Cool. Thanks.
Dude, I was gonna ask you something about the irony because our friendship was based on irony.
Facts.
And it's really interesting to look back at it because I'm like, how does that even speak a language of like, hey, we're trying to communicate on a more personal level, I guess.
You think it's an intelligence test?
I think it's wit for sure.
Yes. Because there are some people who just don't resonate.
Yeah.
Like you and me, the first thing that we started doing was we started flipping each other off. That was how we broke open the door of conversation.
Right.
Communication would be a better word. But there are some people that I have had in my life where I just flip them off as a joke. And even some of them, I feel like underneath it all know it's a joke, but they're just like, why are you? And it's like, do you just want me to have the L so bad?
Yeah, I mean,
that it's like, so whenever I see you flip me off back, you're communicating the type of person that I want to associate with.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was that, and then it started turning into just like talking shit to each other, and it was like, it's funny because from the outside looking in, since we're not really like close friends up to this point, and it's just developing that. It's
Domino's days.
Yeah, it was like people on the outside could not handle what was happening. It was like, are they like beefing with each other? Like, what? And we're both like saying something and going around the corner and busting out laughing. Like,
yes, bro, I totally forgot about that. Were people really like pressed about it on the outside?
I mean, I remember people, because it's like
that's Clout too.
Yeah, it would get heated. We would be like talking loudly to each other across the store.
I do not remember.
Like, not like,
but I'm sure it was
not like fuck you, bro. Like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
but it'd just be like, I'd be on the other side of the store and be like, fuck you, bro.
Yes.
And you'd be like, what? Fuck you, bro.
Yes, bro.
Like shit like that.
I think Avery fed into that
Oh, yeah.
mentality a few times. Cause I think that's where it started a lot more with me and Avery. Because me and Avery would start doing that shit to each other.
And then, I don't know if you remember how Bonwell acted after a while. He was like, I just don't like the way that you guys are like talking to each other. And it's like,
I do not remember that. That's
yeah,
crazy.
I can't believe you don't remember him saying that.
I'm sure if I thought about it, but that's Clout in a way as well.
And I think that, I don't know where this skill developed in me in my life, but like reading people and understanding like their body language, and even unconsciously like knowing where they're coming from. It's like I could tell that you're coming from a place of like not genuineness, I guess is the only way to put it. But then like later on, there was like a specific scenario where me and Shank and Jacob were hanging out, and he called me stupid like 3 times, like back to back to back. And I was like, dude, it's like not like I was just not reacting. At the first time I'm like, and then it was like it got to the point where he's just calling me stupid, and I was like, okay, this isn't a joke anymore.
Right.
And
yeah.
It didn't ever feel that way when we were doing that kind of shit.
Dude, if it's not exciting, like if it's not like the energy is there, like I love that we're being fuckers to one another right now, then there's no point in doing it.
Yeah.
Other than trying to start it. Like, yeah.
Dude.
Fuck you, bro.
I had, it's wild to me, because you were saying, do you think it's intelligence that comes with the being able to like be fuckers back and forth to each other without taking it personally? And I think like wit is the thing. And when it started, it was very simple. It was like, fuck you, bro, flipping each other off, like very easy insults, I guess.
Yes.
And now it's to the point where it's like so dry that from the outside looking in, they literally cannot tell like what's happening.
Which is where I'm trying to take it anyway.
Right, and that's
I love that level.
That's the humor that we're looking for, is the dry, like we're being serious.
Yes.
But deep down there's nothing serious about it.
You know Caleb from Sunday Conversation?
Yes.
He was interviewed not as the guy.
Interesting.
And obviously he still is like jabbing because that's in his personality. But they were asking him about like how that started. Like his humor comes from pain. It is a coping mechanism. Humor as a defense mechanism is very interesting because that's why people find like death and violent dark humor, and their instant reaction is like they're like assorting their own anxiety.
True.
They're like channeling their anxiety into something.
True. I've noticed a lot of humor and I've talked about this before. It was like we've talked about funerals and how they just like make me feel weird.
There's no humor in there.
And then I'm like, okay, what do I do? It's like I gotta crack a joke or something. Like I gotta break this like tension that's going on right now.
It's heavy tension.
Yeah, and it's I have this distinct memory of my friend from school, we were in like middle school or whatever, her name was Bailey, and her mom had killed herself. Well, I was at her funeral, and like my friends were there, and I was just like making them laugh. Like one of them specifically, I was making him laugh so hard. And I was like, he was like, dude, this is like a funeral. I should not be like hysterically laughing right now. And I'm like, I don't know. This is the only way to make it feel not
Dude, yes.
depressing, I guess.
Yes. There's a lot that could be said about that. I want to say this Caleb thing real quick from
Fair.
Sunday Conversation. They were asking him about like his dry sense of humor and like his awkward energy that he just feeds into all the time. He said when he was like a kid, I don't remember how old he said, maybe like 5 to 10. He would get into elevators with like random people, older the better apparently, and just act retarded with his friends. Just like act like he had a mental disability so he could say whatever he wanted. He just created that pocket of like, I wonder how they'd react if and then he just went all the way in.
This guy is fucking silly.
He is really silly. No wonder it seems so easy to him.
Yeah.
It seems like he's done this shit for so long whenever he is in those moments.
He just now has a camera in front of him to do it.
Yeah, and celebrities as his victims.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, I just watched one last night. He was talking to some African guy. I've never heard of him before, but he's a musician of some sort. And he's just like saying, like, they're in a house and he's like, all right, we wanted to introduce so-and-so's new book, and the book's title is Cuckold. And he's like, I didn't write that or something like that. And he was like, yeah, we just found it in this house. Like, it was like, bro, why is that? Why'd you even bring that?
Very, very dry.
Abaddon's making a cameo on the podcast right now.
Is it episode 1? Can I make it in? Okay, Clout. If I had a question about Clout, who's the most clouded up person you could think of?
I would say Donald Trump is up there for sure. What's up?
Who is this?
Sessions. I feel like they followed a while ago. Maybe
What
I'm tripping,
up?
but thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. What were you saying?
I was saying that I think somebody with a humongous amount of clout is Donald Trump.
Fact.
And I would say a lot of it is hate, more so than the support.
It's a lot of hate.
But maybe that's just the biased end that I've seen.
Yeah.
Because I don't really look into him that much. And I was also going to say The Weeknd. But
yes,
the crazy thing about The Weeknd, it's like two different types of clout.
True.
Do you think that The Weeknd has very many haters?
Probably not.
Why do you think that is?
Because we don't know who he is.
Yeah.
I don't know who he is at all.
He has zero personality other than what he portrays in his music, I would say.
Why do you think?
Why do I think that he
has almost no hate? If you agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I don't really hear somebody that's like, God, I fucking hate The Weeknd.
Yeah, maybe people that hate new music and they don't even hate The Weeknd. They just hate new music.
Yeah, and it's probably like if they're hating on The Weeknd, it's probably because they've heard his one song a million times on the radio, which I get.
Yeah,
especially like growing up listening to music, it was like when people would be on the radio, it's not even, I would just be like, I hate that song because I didn't understand the amount of music that was being made before streaming was like a thing is not the same amount, but still quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like albums had a bunch of songs on them, but you would only hear like one, maybe two on the radio at all times. And so I'd just be like, I would hear that one song, and that's all I knew about them. And I'm like, God, I hate this guy.
The 1 to 2 songs that you only hear by them. Yeah, if I only knew Blinding Lights by The Weeknd, I probably wouldn't like The Weeknd.
Right.
If I heard it 100 times.
Right.
Probably. But The Weeknd has a fuck ton of music.
So much music.
He's putting out music all the time. He's making sure he stays at number 1.
He stays relevant.
Bro, anytime Taylor Swift releases a new album, he releases a new single. Like,
True.
He's going to make sure he's at the top, bro.
He is locked and loaded to make sure that
he's got shit in the bank.
Yes, that nobody can take the spotlight from him.
Dude.
So.
Oh, it's Seth Degner.
Is Sessions?
I believe so. Not to just name drop.
Yeah.
Jesus, we can edit that out. Sorry. I just straight up fucking dropped that.
Dude, well, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, I appreciate you, bro.
That's dope.
We out here having opinions and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does The Weeknd have the same clout? Dude, I think somehow he has more. I'm sorry, bro. I wasn't even thinking. But I know more, even if Childish Gambino's character is a front, which I don't think it is. Even if it is, he is at least portrayed more of a public persona than The Weeknd has.
True.
But I think The Weeknd has overall more clout.
I would
more
say
people know his name, potentially.
that Childish Gambino is really popular in America. Maybe a handful of other countries. I don't really know a bunch of his fan base, but The Weeknd is like popular everywhere. Everywhere. His music is everywhere.
Yeah, The Weeknd's
And
inescapable.
He could go to damn near any country and perform and probably sell out the show.
I bet he could in any country.
Yeah, and Childish Gambino gets a lot of clout because he is spoken out, or he's outspoken about some of his opinions. I won't say
he's fairly opinionated.
Yeah, I won't say he puts out a bunch of opinions, but he is very out there in opinions. And then he's very multi-dimensional when it comes to talent.
True, dude. He does stand-up and acting.
Yes. And honestly, his stand-up is hilarious.
I like his stand-up. The Weeknd. What was I just... Oh, dude. There was a huge meme about The Weeknd just talking.
Yeah,
because they're like, I realize I've never heard this dude's voice. True. Here I doubt many know Childish Gambino. Yeah, facts.
I would agree.
Facts. But there's also memes, like I was just saying, about The Weeknd. We finally hear this dude's speaking voice. It's like this dude is so unknown. I was making a point on Matter of Fact with Seth. I was like, if The Weeknd got on Joe Rogan, it would have 20 million views in a week.
Yeah, I bet it would be faster.
And he knows that.
Yeah.
The Weeknd knows that.
Yes.
And yet he doesn't do it.
He has to pick so specifically the places that he goes to get on a... Because imagine, dude, if he got on... Who's like somebody that is controversial?
What, like a musician that's controversial?
Like their podcast is very controversial in opinions and catching people out. Okay, so if The Weeknd got on the Breakfast Club,
oh, okay,
Charlemagne would tear him apart.
Facts.
Apart, bro.
Charlemagne would
destroy him. Because that's what his goal is every guest. Charlemagne wants to just make somebody look so fucking stupid and get a clip.
They want to get behind the surface.
Yes, and it's like The Weeknd doesn't do that. He does not get on interviews that are going to blow his whole life out into the public.
Now, then there could be any number of reasons for that.
True.
Right? It's like maybe he's just a nervous figure.
Or maybe he just doesn't want the heat of like having to deal with the public all the time.
And that is fine.
Yeah.
It's like The Weeknd, if you just want to make your music in peace and go home, that's cool. But from a skeptic's mind, I am convinced that you are bought and sold.
Fair.
And that's why you're not getting on podcasts. Because you're scared you're going to say the thing about Hollywood or wherever the fuck that you're not supposed to say.
Mm-hmm. And him being bought and sold is another reason why he's all around the world.
And that's why he has so much clout.
Yes, the people with the money he's making money are investing in putting him in front of literally everyone because that's going to make them the most money.
Yeah, The Weeknd's not saying anything that's going to lose a whole company's company. Well, company's a good one, but also country's appeal.
You're right.
He's not. All he's talking about is unrequited love. That's all he talks about.
And doing cocaine.
Yeah, that's on there too. That's on his bucket list of song topics.
Fucking. So, when it comes to Childish Gambino, he says things that can be taken negatively in a lighting if you want to put him in that lighting. And he's not like scared to like come out and say that. I feel like when it comes to the kind of clout that The Weeknd has, Drake's kind of fallen into that.
Yeah, Drake, I know at least what Drake's speaking voice sounds like.
Right?
I'd give Drake that.
See, that's crazy to me. That's like a meme, and I understand because people don't do their due diligence. The whole world was never looking for The Weeknd's voice outside of that. It's like I've heard it before.
Right.
Before this meme, I knew what he sounded like because I looked up interviews of this guy.
I looked up very old interviews.
I was like, holy shit! Like, and it was. I remember the interview that I watched. It was right after Starboy dropped, and he had just cut his hair. I don't know if you knew what his hair looked like.
Yes, he
it
did
was
an
like
interview.
Just crazy. Yeah, he did an interview, and I was like, oh shit! This was right as Starboy was coming out, and I heard his voice, and I was like, oh, okay, I didn't. To be fair, Drake was true, but it got him on. It got him on.
Dude, did you see all the? I mean, this is a given, especially with how out of the limelight The Weeknd has been for so long. But you know, he did an acting scene, right?
Yeah, actually.
There were so many memes that were like, "Who let The Weeknd do this?"
Yeah,
like hating on this dude.
So does being non-combative give you more clout because more people like you?
It's a tricky line.
Right.
Because The Weeknd's a great example of somebody who's non-combative and he has a lot of clout.
You're going to put some socks on.
Who would be another example of someone who's just in the limelight very well and they're also non-combative and pretty much non-existent? No, look at Taylor Swift interviews. I never have. Mercy to those that have. But, no, I would do my due diligence. I would watch an interview with Taylor Swift. Who's another character who's very, very famous, and we pretty much have no idea who they are because they never speak about things.
Dude,
I think of actors.
I was gonna say who's an actor.
I think of like maybe I'm not in the movie scene, bro.
Fuck no, I can't say. I was gonna say Ryan Reynolds, but he has some kind of opinions that he utilizes.
Who's like the most known actor right now? That would be probably someone from Hollywood, preferably, which all of them are.
I mean, another person that came to my mind was like Brad Pitt.
I don't know much about Brad Pitt, but I feel like he probably has some wise things to say.
I feel like he's had opinions.
It's like that's a good point. Sesh Zins.
Does being non-combative give you more clout because more people like you? I guess.
In a way.
Well, the other thing is, I could see it being
Will Smith, maybe.
Yeah.
Will Smith.
Will Smith seems bought and sold as well.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm trying to think if.
The Rock and Kevin Hart and shit.
Yeah.
Just humor. Humor is their language.
Well,
discipline.
Kevin Hart has I've seen multiple clips of Kevin Hart dropping gems. But
fair.
Also, I don't know how real that is because I've never watched an episode of because I feel like he's usually podcasting when stuff like that comes up. But I just don't really hear a lot of big opinions from him hardly at all. It's more
shit that might get him canceled. Like he would never say anything in that realm.
He's not gonna say things that might jeopardize the amount of clout that he has already.
Fair.
Which is the thing. It's crazy because if you're not willing to focus on where the clout is and just how big it is, that you could just keep growing it no matter what you're doing as long as you're being true to yourself. But then when I say that, I'm like, okay, is The Weeknd being true to himself?
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we wouldn't know because he doesn't put himself out there.
I don't know, bro, because it's like, is his character, is he just playing the mysterious quiet guy, or is he the mysterious quiet guy?
Right.
I'm not so convinced that he is the mysterious quiet guy.
Somebody that I was just thinking of.
Keanu is very true, and there's now, sorry, not to cut you off, I'm going to say this real quick. If you want to pay attention to the point that Sesh Zenz made about, what was it? Being non-combative give you more clout because people like you. Look at people who are mainly only liked, that don't have a lot of haters.
Dude, I feel like you brought up some actor the other day that I cannot think of.
That doesn't have a lot of haters?
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of public figures just in general that do not have a lot of haters and also just conveniently, simultaneously don't have a lot of important things to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really? You're going to... That's at least the case from what I've looked into. If there's one that proves that wrong, I would love to know about it. If I had to guess, Keanu Reeves does not speak on political issues, at least not in depth.
I think that Keanu Reeves does not make a lot of. Okay. One of the things that gets you the most negative clout is being political.
Fair.
Keanu Reeves has a lot of things that he says, but none of them are really political.
I don't
They're
know
all
about
self-centered
fair,
based.
fair.
It's like he's trying to be somebody to look at for an example. He's trying to say, like, you need to take yourself more seriously. You need to, like, have a goal in mind and a passion and, like, search for that and, like, shit like that. Jim Carrey's another good example.
Jim Carrey is.
He says political things, though.
Right, sorry. I've been looking into him. That's crazy that you brought him up.
But he's very much a pinnacle of self-human worth.
True. Do you know, have you heard about a lot of people, like, claiming that he's, like, going insane and shit?
Yeah.
There are a bunch of clips of him being like, there is no self, there is no me. And I think he's trying to manifest positive energy over himself because I think he got trapped in the ego.
Yeah,
in his own.
He talks a lot about ego.
Right. But then he's, like, going on talk shows and saying that. And then, like, you can just tell the talk show hosts are like, yeah. Like, they don't know what to say, really.
Does it not come off like a philosopher?
It very much does.
It reminds me of Alan Watts.
Yes.
When he was talking about, I am not me and the world is not the world. We are one.
Yes.
And
dude, I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
I learned about Alan Watts through Seth.
Oh, shit.
That's how I learned about Alan Watts.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Yeah, that's honestly crazy that you tuned in and then he gets brought up.
Yeah.
But what were you saying?
I was just saying it could be viewed as crazy. I'm sure Alan Watts was viewed as crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But then a lot of the things that he was saying are taken really seriously. Altruistic
or self-denying. Ooh.
Would you say?
I'm gonna look
so
up
would you say?
Yeah, so would you say
that Andrew Tate is altruistic?
I'm going to define altruistic just out loud for myself. Having or showing an unselfish concern for the welfare of others. So altruistic acts. Relating to or being behavior. Oh, no, that's an animal. Okay, so yeah, it'd be the first definition. Having or showing an unselfish concern for the welfare of others. The state of being well, especially in respect to good fortune, happiness, well-being. So is being altruistic...
Yeah,
yeah. Tate is not altruistic. So is altruistic someone that, like, gives to charity? Would that be, like, a great definition of someone that's altruistic? Self-denying.
Yeah, I would say in...
Oh, okay.
In self-denying, is it that you're saying they won't be themselves?
I'm thinking of, like, The Weeknd.
Yeah, or like The Weeknd where... Because, like you said, who knows? Maybe he's being himself, just not in front of the camera.
Right.
So...
I would love, if I'm being hopeful, altruistic should give more clout. But they will put their egos aside to help others.
Okay.
Yeah, I would that's a figure I would want to be able to get more clout if I were to have my pick. But if I'm picking which one I objectively think gets more clout, it's probably self-denying because they will put their ego aside to help others.
It's like Yes Man.
Yeah.
Yes Man probably gets more clout.
Fair. Okay.
Because more people are... And it's not clout that they're enjoying.
Can you give me an example of someone that does this?
Joe Biden.
Okay, yes. Joe Biden is a good example of someone.
He is a yes man.
He
Whatever the people above him say goes. He says, they say jump, he says how high.
I wish I could.
Yeah. He's like, oh, you want me to go up there and just not know what I'm saying? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what you guys think is going to work.
And then just say some ridiculous shit. Well, and then it's, okay, so here's, tell me, I'm going to give you two different examples. I'm going to do Biden, I'm going to do Trump, and you tell me which one is more clout. So Biden comes out eating ice cream.
The dementia doesn't help.
Yes.
Yeah, that feeds into the clout that he's getting because he's a joke.
Biden comes out eating ice cream, right?
Yeah.
The press wants to know, what flavor of ice cream did you get, Joe Biden? Mr. Joe Biden, what flavor? Would any single person on the planet, if they saw Trump eating ice cream, that be their first question?
No.
Absolutely
not at all.
Not at all. Absolutely not. So who has more clout?
Yeah, I mean,
given that,
Trump for sure.
I would say Trump has more clout.
Trump gets more. He gets more people riled up. Is it helpful for rich actors and musicians to give life advice? Yes, but they have to have put in a lot of effort themselves to get there. Because if there's somebody like...
Child actor? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, like Justin Bieber can't really give people advice other than how to handle stress, maybe how to handle being in the public eye, but he can't be like, yo, to get through your 9 to 5, like you got to do this to get through a day. Like he's never lived in a life like this.
Right.
Like, he could not give us advice other than
he would have advice at like how people are going to try to trick us.
Yes, and how to make good music.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But he just can't. He can't give life advice.
This is
like
how hard
that.
you should work
Now,
when you're at the bottom.
Somebody like Russ,
yeah,
who built it all himself, could give good life advice, and he's rich and successful and blah blah blah. But, yeah, I think there is different lanes of famous and rich people that could potentially give really great advice. Like, I bet Joe Rogan's another good example of somebody who could give great
I would
advice.
take Joe Rogan's advice.
Because he's not like somebody that just got propelled to the limelight because he's willing to say whatever the person paying him is wanting him to say. And that's the difference, I think, when actors and athletes and musicians and all these people that are in front of the camera all the time, when they're paid to say things, they are tarnishing their personality as a human being.
They're dying in a way.
And becoming a robot, essentially. And then when you do that, your advice is no longer valid because it's not even your advice. It's like the topic that we were talking about on the Conscious Cast. It's like, how can I take your advice when you're not even showing the example of what it is?
If someone wants to give me fitness advice
and they're fat
and they don't look fit, then I will be skeptical. Did you see his question?
Yeah, I was waiting to get through that part.
Fair. Is good clout and bad clout a thing? Definitely.
100%.
Definitely. So much.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly my point. I was going to say, like, when people put themselves in advertisement for things that are getting sold that they don't even agree with, it's just a dollar sign to them. They're just like, oh, yeah. And then it turns out this product is shitty or does something terrible to somebody. And it's like, you're feeding into that for what?
For the money and the clout of it, yes. Either attention or money or both. So what is... I think we've already answered this, but I'm going to ask anyway. What is the most dangerous part of clout if it's bad clout?
Yeah, I mean, the assassination was
people want
up
you
there.
dead.
Yeah, people definitely want you dead. It's like Tate saying, bro, he was like, I'll be getting like emails and letters in the mail saying like that they're essentially going to kill him.
Yes.
Like, he's getting literal hate mail that is threatening his life. And he's just like,
okay.
I guess this is just where I'm at now. But he doesn't stop.
Yeah, he's doubling down at every single corner.
Which is showing he's really meaning a lot of the things he was saying, at least.
So what's the best part about good clout?
You make a lot of connection and impact. There's like, I've come to realize as my journey in music goes on that I've met like thousands of people just from music, like doing shows and like all that stuff. And it's like, okay, they remember me. They want to follow me on Instagram and see what I'm doing. It's like we were talking about the people that are announcing Keaton's fight, and one of them's like, "Oh yeah, I've seen this like 3 times. This is cool." And it's like he knows who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm making that connection with him,
Mm-hmm.
even though I've never really talked to the guy.
Yes.
He's watching and enjoying the entertainment that I'm putting out, which is exactly why I'm trying to be entertaining. And that makes me feel good. I can only imagine what it's like on a massive scale of hitting a large audience of people and being like, I'm leading a movement, and some movements aren't that great.
So do you feel like you're giving your gift
Yeah.
to the world?
My purpose, I'm getting fulfilled by putting myself out there and getting the clout for it.
Fair. And that is just a byproduct.
Yeah.
The fact that it resonates with people like that, and you resonate with the fact that people resonate with it.
Yeah.
What would be the best part about good clout to me? It's going to be very selfish. I'll be honest for 5 seconds. It provides abundance. I'm able to have abundance in every avenue of life.
True.
Or at least more than I have now.
Money.
Almost infinitely more. Clout can bring you money. Clout can bring you free time.
Yeah, I was going to say availability.
Yeah, and money can bring you access to almost anything. I can get a private plane and go anywhere in the world that I would like to. Acceptance. Fair.
True. Do you think that, so would you say that acceptance is important in clout?
I guess define acceptance in a position of clout, like accepting how much clout you have. Is that what you mean, or?
So what they're saying is what you're getting out of it is getting accepted.
Oh, fair. Yes. Being accepted from the masses. Yeah, it's validating. There's definitely a side to it where it's like I was afraid to come out of my shell for many years, almost my entire life. I've only just now recently, this year, been able to talk in front of a camera consistently and not just talk about vague things that you can't attach yourself to, which is all too easy to talk about.
True, and I think that's why it's easy for people to get in a position like The Weeknd when they're just saying things that aren't really saying anything. Like,
yes. Post Malone.
Bro, the Kid Laroi.
Oh, yeah, the
is
Kid
another
Laroi.
person that doesn't really have opinions.
And it sucks. His is sad.
Yeah.
Because he's so young, he doesn't even know what's happening.
Yep.
He does not even realize, like, oh, they want me to say this thing in the song. Okay.
Well, they're going to pay me.
They know. They know best.
Yeah. Dude, you said something that made me...
About acceptance?
Oh, you were saying talking in front of the camera.
Oh, yes.
I was going to ask you, did doing stuff like the I'm the One music video help break that, like, barrier of...
Definitely. Because if I can dance in front of a camera, I can fucking... Especially if I'm already a writer and I love to speak in general, I should damn sure be able to speak in front of a camera.
Yeah.
My biggest fear was always, like... Because I love to write and I love to... Let's just stick with writing because this will be a perfect example for this. I love to write. Writing is a pastime of mine, a hobby. But my biggest fear was that someone would read it and be like, do you even know grammar?
Yeah.
Or they would read it and be like, do you even know what a congruent sentence is? And then, like, I would have all these opinions about God and philosophy. It's like, these are no small subjects. And, like, I'm just tackling them head on. As an analogy, I'm tackling them head on. And it's like, it's almost like if I had to put it into an analogy, a different one. And this happened. This is just for me to be real vulnerable on here. I hope you guys can handle it.
Oh my God.
I would put on
the first episode.
Yeah, exactly. I would put on new clothing, say something like this sweater right here, and there would just be this sensation in my body that is like, it's like a warning almost. It's like, are you allowed to wear this? And that's a great analogy for writing as well. It's like, are you even allowed to be writing?
Can you say that?
What makes you think you're allowed to just write down whatever you want? It's like, if someone reads this, they're going to scoff. And I thought that was like the reason to not do it for so long. I was like, oh, well, they're going to be distasteful
that would be bad clout.
That is bad clout, yes. And then also if I react to it, and I think if bad clout affects you to the point where you have to self-clout has become up, I totally agree. But if bad clout leaves a mark on you that it refuses to leave and you can't let go of it, then you need to analyze what that clout means and either assess why you got it, and maybe you don't even like the reason that you got it. You weren't even being yourself when you got the bad clout.
Yes.
Or you need to really look at what the limelight is,
Dude,
and if you can handle it.
It's crazy that you said that because it just made me think of something. My mom was talking to me the other day about my brother, and my brother's 13. So you can imagine what kind of headspace he's in right now. She was saying that he is the kind of kid that will do things getting him in trouble to show off for his friends. And that's bad clout.
Oh, yes,
like
yes.
he's making a fool of himself to get himself more acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do stuff like that, it turns into people not knowing really who you are.
Yeah.
They just want to see you fall on your face because that's the image that you've given. A good example of that is Tyler, the Creator. But Tyler, the Creator, finessed it really well. Somehow. I don't know what he did. But when he was on the come up, dude, he was just doing out-of-pocket shit just for the sake of being out of pocket.
Facts.
It wasn't about, like, him being Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
He was being whatever he knew was going to get a reaction. And then somewhere along the lines, I'm pretty sure, Pharrell came to him and was like, or no. Well, I'm sure Pharrell had a big impact because him and Pharrell were tight. But A$AP Rocky came along somewhere in Tyler's journey and was like, dude, you got to start taking yourself more seriously, like as a rapper at least. Like, and then Tyler started rapping more seriously, and then he was like, I'm actually really good at this. And then he started becoming more himself, and that's now why you see the style that he's in and the clothes that he's making and the music videos that he's making.
Being a clown versus being a fool. That's ooh.
He is still looking for love and acceptance, but in the wrong way. Exactly. That's the point I'm making. It's like he is looking for clout in a way that's only going to, in the long run, tarnish his image, and he's going to be looked at as not himself, essentially.
Well, there was an interview with Tyler, or at least he was referring back to this interview that I was watching. He said, like, when people would come up to him, they're like, "Oh yeah, you're the funny guy," and he was like, and it hit him pretty hard.
Yeah.
That his music was second.
Yes.
He was known more for being a funny guy, so he was like, "All right, I'll put this funny thing away for a year or two or however long." On it seems like he still went away from it.
Yeah, he's just not that kid anymore.
Yeah. Do you want to answer? I don't even know if this is a question, but I like the idea. Is being a clown versus being a fool? Like, what's the difference? A clown, literally the whole idea of a clown is they are the butt of the joke.
Purposely.
They are the reason you're laughing. You are laughing at them. That is what a clown is. That's why clown is an insult. People call people clowns because what you're doing is so ridiculous that you're doing it. I hope you keep in mind you're doing this for everyone to laugh at you.
Yes.
It's like, and then being a fool.
I think it's being, what's the word? Not naive.
Naive's not bad.
But it's more like you're being oblivious.
Intentionally oblivious?
Yeah.
In a way?
Like
lazily oblivious?
Dude, I have this quote on a fortune. I have a fortune in my wallet. And it says, only fools and dead men won't change their mind.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Or can't change their mind or something. And then it says, like, fools won't change their mind and dead men can't.
That's pretty good for what a fool is,
yeah.
Honestly. A fool, in a way, is a clown.
Yeah.
I mean, but you can be a quiet fool, and a quiet fool is less funny.
Yeah, it's like a fool is not trying to take on...
Honk, honk.
Yeah, he's not trying to get everybody to look at him and laugh. He's just being
stubborn.
A fool. Yeah, like not willing to hear anybody out, can make a fool of yourself. It's like Levi's a fool.
Yeah.
Because he is not doing it he is not trying to get people to like laugh at him.
Possible ignorance. Fair.
Yeah.
Do we know BZY?
Yeah, BZ is. Remember, I just said she followed.
Oh yes,
I
yes.
used to play Overwatch with her.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, honestly, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I love this. This is great.
Dude,
this is episode
real
1.
quick, not to put you on blast or anything and say you're obsessed with me, but I was looking at my TikTok analytics, and you were like my highest viewer for like 7 hours, which is hype as
That is
fuck. I
sick.
appreciate all the viewership that you're giving me, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, well, at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is we're trying to gather clout. That's why I think this is a very relevant topic.
I agree.
We want clout at the end of the day. We don't want to get it in a slimy, backhanded way.
Yes.
Like, we have a lot of opinions about people, but I've been stalking you and Phoenix not going
Phoenix's streams are going crazy. I'm proud of that man, for real.
Is he getting a lot of views?
Dude, he gets so much interaction. Like, his chat is just constant, like, going all the time, and he has just got viewership. He's Twitch affiliate now. Like,
we're gonna be there. We just can't stop.
My guy is popping right now.
We are making content galore.
Yep.
We are coming up with new ideas like this podcast.
Dude, I want to say this real quick. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Shout out to Phoenix if you watch this, or if this gets clipped and you see it or whatever. He's like inspired me to be more content creative. Like, I was watching his clips all the time. I'm like, dude, like, he's like, his clips are funny. They're memey, which is that's the content I like anyways. And they're Overwatch. And I'm like, how is he doing this? Like, and bro, when I'm looking at it now, I'm like, dude, 30-second clip is not that difficult.
Facts.
Now, it'll take more time depending on how much I want to put into it.
Definitely.
But even just posting clips, it's like sometimes I'll be like lazy one day, and I'll be like, and lazy is relative because I say lazy, but I'm posting a clip.
True.
I'm like going to my Twitch. I'm like, all right, this clip is funny. I don't really want to do anything with it. I don't want to put subtitles. I don't want to like edit a zoom in. I don't want to do this and that and this and that. It's like, I'll just post a clip and just say lazy clip.
Oh, yeah, and it's still a clip.
Yeah, and it gets like 600 views, and I'm like, okay, well, I at least put the clip out there. And then there's other days where I'm like, okay, I want to put up subtitles and oh, what up, bro?
We got everybody
tuning
in today.
The gang is here.
Dude, we got all kinds of people. All right.
So
appreciate you.
When I'm doing stuff like that, because I remember asking him, I was like, bro, I just saw his Twitch just going crazy. And I was like, okay, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, well, I just post like a clip like twice a week. And I was like, holy fuck, dude, twice a week? That's it? That's crazy. I could do that. And then I started doing it every day, and I was like, oh, I could just do this every day. And I'll say I take days off sometimes.
I'm right here.
I take days off. But for the majority of the time, I'm making a clip every day. And that's just getting more and more attention to what I'm doing.
Fair. We have a good system going with the guys.
Very.
I think the 2-2-2 is going to be great.
Yes.
I don't know if it will hinder our account at all that we're posting 6 times a week. I don't know.
I feel like it can't.
Right, but with that mentality, we could do 2 times a day if we really wanted to.
Well, I think once a day is like pretty good.
Fair.
Like I can't see once a day being a hindrance because they want people active regularly.
Right.
But if we're like spam posting, that's where it gets like tough.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for the algorithm to hear us out.
Yeah, the algorithm's going to be like, okay, this might be a bot because they've just been posting and posting and posting and posting and posting. And it's like that doesn't work, I don't think.
Right.
But I've never done it.
Right, I've never done it.
So I can't say for sure.
Dude,
but
could you imagine all the work that we would have to do?
Dude, I was just thinking about like, I was like, okay, I'm going to pitch this idea of like having 2 clips from this to David. And I was like, dude, that's another reel that I'm going to have to make every week. And I'm like, you can do that.
Fuck it.
I can do that. Like,
I mean, we're doubling down right now.
And it doesn't even have to be like, because I personally don't like to be pressed for the time. It's like, it's kind of putting me on a time limit. But at the same time, I'm like, I got it done. and I got it done well.
Fair.
Like, because my biggest fear is like, okay, the time that I have to have it done is going to put me in a box to where I can't be as creative as I want to be because I won't have enough time.
Fair.
And it's never that, because I'm capable of being creative very efficiently. I'm not giving myself enough credit for the capability that I have in that area. And the biggest underlying reality of it is that I just can't be a procrastinator.
Fair, because then that's the only way really that you're going to get as much time in with it as you want.
Yeah, and it's when I'm thinking about it and I'm like, dude, if I have to take this long, it's like, it shouldn't take me that long. It doesn't take me 2 days to make a 30-second clip reel.
Facts.
And I'm trying to give myself an excuse to get out of it. And in the reality, I could do that and it's only going to benefit me.
Yeah.
Like, when I'm putting my music into a box of like, oh, I can't be like, okay, I'm going to do a mixtape once a month. Because I was doing that at one point. I was dropping a project a month, which is crazy to think about now.
That's nuts.
And it's, yes, exactly.
True, it does.
Exactly,
it takes
bro.
longer in your mind before you do it.
It's like I'm making up a timeline that's not real because now there's a timeline on it.
Right.
But, dude, I could make a song a month if I really tried. But I'm not really trying that hard to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I've come to the realization that I'm putting a lot of effort towards other things. But if that was something that I wanted to do, I could do that, but I'm not.
Fair.
Same with reels, same with making content, because I was like, damn, David's making me wait till the day of to like work on the reel. And it was like, all right, well, he's got other stuff he's got to do, so that's fine. And then I was like, bro, like, what if the day of, like, I'm too busy and blah, blah. And to be fair, I was really busy that day. Like, I got up, I went and hung out with Carter. I, like, started the reel. Then I had to be done because I got up late, so that was kind of on me anyway. So it's like, whose fault is that really?
Fair enough.
And then I go hang out with them, and I'm there till 7, 8 o'clock. And I come home, and I'm like, all right, I just got to fucking work on this now. And then I did it. I don't know.
And it was a good reel.
Yeah.
But when I said we were doubling down, it's going to be funny to say this, but we're doing jobs as they pop up right now. And we're very fortunate and blessed at this exact moment, especially with our rent situation and our food situation last month anyway. I'll hit this in just a sec. Check out Nether Friends. He has put out like an album a month. Damn.
That is impressive.
Jesus.
That is some fucking work right there, bro.
But we want Clout. We are very convinced by Clout. Clout is what we are trying to get. As shallow as it may sound, I'm just being honest here. We want the good of Clout, which, you know, there's a lot of good in Clout, but we know that we're going to get the bad as well, regardless.
Is it shallow to say that you want clout?
I think it's honest, but sometimes the truth,
yeah,
the truth can seem shallow. Clout as a word sounds shallow.
I agree.
It does not sound like something you should strive towards.
I think that clout is not shallow. I think thinking that you don't want any kind of clout is the shallow.
I think that's not real. Karma.
Everybody wants to be seen as they've done something great.
You think karma and clout are the exact same? Oh, no, he's asking. I don't think they're the same thing.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think, here, I'm going to use this analogy. I love this analogy. So, I think karma is the square as clout is the rectangle.
Oh,
Wait.
like every square is
No. I had it backwards. Clout is the square where karma is the rectangle. Clout is technically the rectangle. The rectangle cannot be a square.
So what? Clout influences karma, but karma does not
Clout
influence
brings you karma. Because if you're getting... It's like... the people that do really terrible things, that's clout. Everybody knows them for it. And karma comes around for people that are clouded up.
The pursuit of clout can affect your karma. I can agree with that.
I would agree with that.
Especially how you're trying to get the clout.
And that's where you were saying we're not trying to be slimy.
Yeah.
So it's going to come around to be good karma.
Yes.
Because we're really putting in the effort and hard work, and that's going to bring the good instead of fucking somebody over so that we can get a step up. And then they don't want to support us, and in fact they bring us down because they know that we're dirty. Facts.
The kid Leroy is swimming in that right now.
Oh yeah.
Which sucks because he doesn't even know. Good karma could bring you the reward of clout. Yeah, definitely.
True.
Definitely. If you're doing your good deeds and people are starting to realize your good deeds, it could be a byproduct and you could get clout.
And it's
the negative end is also true, sadly.
Yes.
You could do a lot of terrible things and you get clout for it.
Yes. I was gonna say, on the good karma, that was kind of the point I'm making, is like the karma that you're looking for. Yes.
I think clout is pretty deep.
Yes. Good and bad are also subjective.
The only reason I even care so much about being as thought out about clout as I am right now is because I'm so intimidated, or I was, of clout.
And
the
things that we're doing right now are very much inviting clout. You are inviting clout by getting in front of the camera and talking. You are inviting clout by making clips of yourself. You're inviting clout by going out and standing on Keaton's side and like flipping off the
haters,
booers
yes.
and like the haters, and like that's clout. People are gonna be like, if those people see you again, they're
fuck
gonna
that
know.
guy.
Yeah, they're gonna know. They're gonna be like, yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, my dude won though.
Exactly.
So
we're on the winner side, so they don't even have anything to say.
That's the crazy part. Is it's like when
it's 1-1-1.
Nice. Whenever you win, it just doubles down your clout. Also, I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you just saying?
No, I was good.
Oh, I thought you had something more from earlier. No, clout was very intimidating to me because I didn't want all the eyes on me. Attention was very frightening to me because I was, I don't know if this is like a complex or if there's a word for this or if this is just everybody, but when everybody's looking at you, there's like a performance anxiety. It's like if I was just doing something as simple as taking the trash out, but I sensed that everyone in the room was looking at me, the job of me doing it would be less quality because I would be thinking about it.
Dude, I was
fact
just
that all the eyes are on me.
I was just doing something, and I was thinking about exactly that. I wasn't thinking like I have that, but I was thinking
I definitely used
someone does that. Like they do it worse.
When people pay attention to them, they get uneasy.
Yeah, like I was like thinking about. Dude, I can't even remember who I was specifically thinking about, but I was like, if I told them this, and it wasn't you or Seth, it was like somebody that I don't really give a lot of advice to regularly.
Fair.
And it was like, I was like, if I tell them that, would they just do it worse? Maybe I should just let them figure it out on their own kind of shit. I don't know.
No, that's a good point. But like a year ago, if I was on this podcast a year ago, say, and there was nobody commenting, so there was like no like someone is gauging what I'm saying, I would be more involved in the conversation. But as soon as comments started popping up, especially questions and shit, there would be a performance anxiety of like, am I going to be able to handle the question that they ask? Am I saying something stupid right now? Am I even making sense? Like a bunch of questions.
So instead of, and this is for anybody that feels that way, because I don't know how I figured this out, but I think I got it at a really young age because I wanted to be on stage.
Fair.
I was like doing lip sync contests and like all this shit like in 4th, 5th grade. Like, yeah. So when shit, what did you say right before that? I lost my train of thought.
The paying attention, performance anxiety.
Oh, you were like saying you were like asking yourself a bunch of questions.
Like,
so instead of just answering the question that was presented to you, you would be asking a million other questions, which is taking away from the question that was just asked.
Yes.
So that's what's giving you, it's like the performance with getting any attention or praise, like in athletics. Hold on, I'll touch on that in a second. When you're trying to answer, it's almost like active listening. Active listening is important because then you can come up with the right response. If you're not active listening, you might come up with an even dumber response than you would have originally come up with because you're second guessing yourself in the way that you're like, I can't even hear the rest of what they're saying. I have to come up with a response real quick so I know that I'm ready.
And it's what is it? Ironic as fuck.
Yes,
that
it's very
the
ironic.
exact thing you're trying to stop
Yes.
is what's causing it.
It's the same with just a lot of your demons and self-consciousness. Yes, I agree.
Are you getting it with Seth?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Seth.
Being observed does change how life acts.
Yeah, it makes you. Yeah, it brings different energies.
When
you.
you're paranoid and self-conscious about things, you almost, by trying to deny it so hard, put up this gigantic neon sign pointing directly at it.
Facts.
And then it's making you come off like that kind of person because that's what you're manifesting. You're literally just manifesting the person that can't answer the question by asking a million questions that you can't answer. You're like, would I be good at it or not? You don't know.
Yeah, bro.
Because you didn't answer it. That's making up a question that you'll never know the answer to, which you couldn't answer. It's just amplifying the fact that you're not answering the question.
Right, and then I would like lose my spot in points of conversation or talking. I would just fall off because I was scared that I might fall off.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not helping anything with those.
My sister has a hard time with getting any attention or praise like in athletics. I think she likes it. I just don't think she knows how to handle it, is the thing. I think everybody likes attention, and I think a lot of people put up barriers in front of themselves. Like, they know, especially in now's day and age.
Nowadays?
Yes, especially nowadays. The internet has influenced a lot of stage fright.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stage fright going on in society. I don't know.
Not the internet.
How much has amplified since before, like, social media and stuff, but it's all eyes on you at all times.
True.
So if you make yourself public, that opens you to attack from every angle. And so when you get put in a situation like somebody's trying to up you, you get nervous and you break yourself down because you're like, what if I'm not ready for that spot?
Dude, yes, I was very guilty of that.
Yeah.
For a long time.
I don't know why and it's weird because growing up, I was really out there about just wanting to be on stage and in front of people and making people laugh. And then it was like through like high school, and maybe it's because social media was new. Mm-hmm. I got really self-conscious. That was just like the wave. It was like everybody's self-conscious now, more so. So it's just like rubbing off on everybody. Because everybody's getting social media and getting bullied on the internet, and there's no parameters because nobody knew how to handle the internet.
Cyberbullying.
Yeah, and it was like cyberbullying is now a new thing.
Yeah.
And
what are we gonna do?
And then the craziest thing is I unconsciously, by using the internet for so long, figured out how to use the internet. Mm-hmm. And then I knew what things to look for to keep me away from things like that. Such as like watching Russ in interviews and seeing how confident he was and being the person that can do it all. He's proving that. He's in the limelight. He's getting millions of streams. He's rich. He's proving that you could do it yourself. So I'm like, okay, if he can do that, then I can do that because he did it himself, which means I can do it myself. And
it's inspiring.
Then he also taught me how to say what I really mean truthfully. Stop saying things that just get people to like you. That's bad clout. It's the same thing as like when I was talking about my brother making a fool of him, making a clown of himself. And it's the same thing. If you're just only saying the things that people want to hear from you, you're a clown. Because you're just giving the people what they want.
You're being the entertainment.
You're putting on a mask.
Yeah. You're being the entertainment for everybody. Mm-hmm. Whenever you put on that mask.
It's like not everything has to be a safety net. All the time. People should hear things that are tough to hear.
Fair.
And if that means that you can't just lie to their face, for the sake of a good interaction, then that's just kind of what it has to be. It's like Seth doesn't have to read what he wrote to us, but if he wants to get an outcome that is not just him not being himself, then he has to read it.
Yeah, especially if he was being vulnerable in that moment.
Yes.
He can't just hide it up and act like it didn't happen
right
after the fact. Do we have another question about Clout? Oh. So did you say? Oh, we do have another question.
So would you say?
Yeah.
I love that.
That being yourself and putting yourself out there brings clout. Putting yourself out there, yes. Being yourself, I would imagine, yes.
I think being yourself naturally brings you clout.
I mean, yeah, I think it. Because if you're coming from a genuine source,
yes,
I think people resonate with genuineness.
100%.
I think humanity likes genuine and authentic, for the most part, behavior in people. So yes, I would like to say yes to that.
When I think of like people being themselves, it is inspiring, and then inspiration comes from the things that you do and say. So if you're just being yourself and it's naturally inspiring, it's just going to bring about more people to flock around you, not flood around you. And that's why I'm so against a lot of the rap community. They're not being themselves when they get on that stage. And that's why it's not very good. True influence is not measured by the size of your following, but by the depth of impact you have on others.
I agree with that.
Absolutely. Because somebody like Altruistic, who is giving money to charity, and I say charity because I don't think all charities are really that good. I think a lot of it is tax write-off. But when people are genuinely trying to help with their money that they have, or the power that they have, essentially, I think that is influence. That is what gives you clout. That is what makes people want to talk about you.
When you're a giving individual?
When you're being genuine.
Fair.
Like if you're trying to, like, let's say, okay, we have a conversation about like Jeff Bezos having all this money and he's not really doing anything with it.
Right.
He's not doing anything.
Right. I mean, he's living his life, but yeah.
Right. So if he was to give money to charity, and I think this was a point that Seth was making, if he was to give money to charity because everybody told him to, it's not really genuine. He's not like, I really want to help these people.
Yeah.
So the clout he would get would be the internet saying, oh my God, Jeff Bezos gave X amount of money to X problem. And then it was like, but Jeff Bezos isn't going to be like, or he might, if he's getting paid to, he might be like, yeah, I really turned my life around and like blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you can tell when he's not being genuine.
Yeah, you can
but if
see
he was
it.
like, I've finally decided that, you know, I've spent the money I want to spend. So now I'm going to spend it on like
cancer awareness.
Yeah, whatever.
Anything.
Whatever it would be that he is genuinely caring about at that moment. It's like that would bring him way more clout because people are going to get on the internet and be like, oh, yeah, somebody just fucking told him to fucking give to that charity, blah, blah, blah. Like, he didn't actually make that decision. They're not going to take it seriously.
Right. It's like if he made the decision based on fear and based on insecurity,
yes,
everybody's going to be able to sense that. And they're like, and then whenever you do that too, you can just sense it in their body. It's like, did I do good? Like, do you like me now?
Yeah, please
like,
praise me.
Nobody.
Thank you.
That is not. What was the word? Influence. That is not influential. Coming from a place of like, please like me. Do you like me now? What do I have to do for you to like me?
Yes.
Nobody likes that. That is repulsive to all of humanity.
And it's crazy because that goes back into being the clown.
That is pretty clown behavior.
And it's like people will laugh, but they're not going to take you seriously, want to hang out with you regularly. They're not going to be genuinely connected to you.
They don't even know who you are.
Right.
So that's where it's like being genuine gives clout. I agree because I think that they can only know who you are through that. And that's genuine clout. If you're getting clout for a character that's not you, say Jim Carrey, I would love to talk about Jim Carrey for just a second because I've been watching interviews with Jim Carrey. I've been watching him when he was really young. Have you ever watched any of his stand-up?
I've seen some things.
He reminds me a bit of Robin Williams. He's not as extreme, at least not from what I've seen, as Robin Williams. Bro, I love to watch interviews of people and to like double or half the speed, because then you can really analyze their body movement.
Interesting,
You can really do it. Dude, Robin Williams just stands up all the time. He does not sit down for very long. Now, he doesn't come off as a cokehead, even though he could have very well been one, but he definitely comes off as someone who is I don't know how to explain it. He's very nervous.
He's uncomfortable.
It's incredibly, like he cannot sit still. And then Jim Carrey's kind of like that. Jim Carrey's more stabilized, as in like he goes off of like intense facial expressions. Like he'll do the fucking I can't do anything that this dude does.
I know this man's face is insane.
But he came into the stand up. This wasn't an interview. He did all the coke. I'm sure he did.
I could see that.
But he didn't come off he came off family friendly. He didn't come off Rob Williams, yes. Yeah. Even in his extreme moments, he never came off like the dude behind the fucking in the alley.
Yeah,
like that was never Robin Williams. Not that I see.
He's
anyway.
Not Dave Chappelle's cokehead character. He's not that guy.
Crack sandwich.
Yeah.
But he just put a lap thing. That's funny. What the fuck? Jim Carrey. He came up on stage, bro. He was real convincing. He had his arms so far back, it literally looked like he just got out of an accident. And he's like laughing, and like the crowd's like, oh, like fucking reacting and shit. He's like, oh, I'm just kidding. That's how I get the start going. He's like, you're not gonna see any more physical gags from me tonight. And it's like a silence. And then he literally plunges his body onto the floor.
Interesting.
That's like that was how his act started. So he's getting clout, and he has self-admitted to this, that he was not being himself.
Yeah,
I've
seen plenty of interviews where he's talking about putting on a face.
Right, and he got a lot of clout for that. But he himself, I'm sure he doesn't regret everything about it.
Right.
But he definitely was assessing his decisions into what he was doing to get the clout that he got.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not what he wanted.
He was making a clown of himself.
He did all the coke.
Fucking, bro, it's crazy that you said that, because I was just thinking about something. I was like, dude, when I did acid the last time, I got to a point where I'm so out of my mind, my body can't even get comfortable. I'm just lost.
I've never done acid,
It's like it didn't matter what I was sitting on, it didn't feel right. I feel like that's how Robin Williams was just like constantly in his mind.
Well, and then he kills himself.
Right.
Apparently.
Yeah. True.
I don't fucking know.
Like he can't sit still. He cannot just sit in the chair or whatever he's sitting in.
He's yelling.
Or he's like moving like this or like
he's doing so much.
Yeah, his body is constantly animated, because if he sits still, everything will just flood in.
Yeah, the pressure will really set in.
The dam is not stable.
I would say Jim Carrey was better about that than
Fair.
Robin Williams. Robin Williams seemed like a, I don't even know, just hyper. Like a kid with a bunch of candy and soda.
Sugar rush to the max.
Yeah, bro. This dude was fucking nuts.
Maybe if he did kill himself, maybe he was like wore out.
Probably.
I bet he wore himself thin.
He's probably real tired all the time.
Yeah. With that much, like, brain stimulation going at all times. Because, dude, I bet he couldn't be by himself. Ever.
Oh, you don't think so? Maybe when he was alone, he could put the shield up.
Maybe. But I'm like, what is driving you to stay in the limelight if what gets you sane is being alone? Because if I can only imagine, if you kill yourself, that it's really scary being by yourself all the time.
Probably, yeah.
So when I just can't imagine him being like, I want to be by myself, with the way that his personality is, and then behind closed doors he kills himself.
Right.
It's like he had to have been sitting by himself at some point, like, it's over. I don't even want to try anymore. Like, this is too much.
Yeah, I don't know much about his later life. I would love to look into it.
And I think that when you're in that state of mind, it's because your mind is on go at all times. So you never psychoanalyze yourself, because you're never alone. because it's too scary. And then when you don't ever psychoanalyze yourself, a lot of your shadow just builds and builds and builds until it's just too overwhelming to even handle.
Yeah, it's like I wonder what he was like behind closed doors.
Oh my God, dude, I can't even imagine.
Like, if you cannot sit still at all, if you're getting up and you're just explosive at every second, it's like, dude, I could attempt to embody that if I really wanted to for Clout, let's say.
Yeah.
If I was like, okay, I just want to be high. Now, I'm going to make a lot of mistakes along the way because if I'm trying to be an extreme person, I'm going to fuck up eventually.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something out of pocket as fuck. But then, maybe I'll get the clout from that I want. But then I will not like the person that I became through that clout.
Right. It's building a public persona that you're not really wanting to fit.
Yeah, I think the way that we're building Clout now is more genuine to ourselves.
It feels like everything that we're doing right now, nobody's going to be able to pull up in 5 years and be like, do you remember when you did this?
Yeah.
And like catch me off guard and I'll be like, yeah.
Yes, I did that.
Nothing's changed.
Like episode 4, yes. It's like. So what'd you say? Yeah, I think that all these different avenues of podcasts are helping me form my, like a lexicon is?
Yeah.
A lexicon is like your personal vocabulary
or
like a cultural vocabulary. It's definitely helping me build my own thoughts about different subsects of categories. Like on the Conscious Cast, we talk about it's very much catered to all 4 of our characters.
Yes.
And what we all resemble. That's like what that is.
Yeah,
that's what the Conscious Cast is.
It's like a big spotlight on who we are.
Yes, that's like the main point, which is why we kind of let it be loose, because the fact that it's funny is a part of all of us.
Well, I would even say the looseness is part of like me and Seth more heavily. But it's like that's my P-type coming out. Like the fact that you're not like, dude, okay, we had a question, we got to stay on topic here. Like we can't just stray too far for an hour.
Right.
It's like that would kill my vibe.
Yeah, I don't do that.
But also, if we were just completely P-type to the max and nothing got done, it was just fucking bullshit.
We probably wouldn't talk a whole lot.
Yeah, and you would not like that either.
No, hell no.
I mean, I wouldn't like that, but
right. I'm definitely finding the line on the Conscious Cast, and also it's helping me appreciate what the Conscious Cast is going to be more of, because
it gets me so excited.
Because I have other avenues.
Yeah.
Now. Me and Seth, I get all my fucking J-type science, debate, philosophy out on the matter of fact. That all comes out.
It's the Conscious Cast is like stimulating that side of us.
Yeah, but it's like
it's putting us in front of a camera all the time. So then now we want to be in front of the camera more, and then eventually we're just going to be in front of the camera like at all times. It's like we want to vlog. That's just going to be camera in our face while we're just living.
That's crazy because that was Billy's.
True, that was Billy's idea.
Yeah, Billy's idea.
But it's showing how comfortable we can be in front of a camera to ourselves and then to the public as well.
It's crazy because we never get hate shit like this.
Yeah.
Like, ironic hate.
Well, we can defend ourselves.
True. So they're just like, I don't know.
It's like if they come, and it will happen.
I'm sure.
There's no way that we.
What are you guys that said blah, 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 blah.
But the clips, they can like,
yeah,
and take off.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to react to anything, bro. And then they can clap back at their own time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's funny.
Here they can't really do that because we're just gonna be off the rip.
Yes.
Like, okay, whatever you're saying, we're responding to that.
Fair, but yeah, I'm letting out a lot of different avenues of myself in these different podcasts. I'm wondering how this one. I'm sure I'm already sensing very well what this one's gonna resemble.
Yeah,
it's like it's just as debate influenced as matter of fact, but also it's more loose than matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
But we also are trying to stay on topic and talk about real shit.
I think it's like a different avenue of debate.
I agree.
Like, I'm sure there's going to be times on this where we are disagreeing about a certain topic. And
I disagree. I don't think we'll ever disagree.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't think that'll ever happen. So, I disagree.
Well, anyways, I think that it's not going to be about, I'm sure there will be some philosophy involved.
I'm sure.
I'm sure there's going to be more minimal science involved because I just don't really know a whole lot behind that.
But you're at least interested.
Right. But I think it's going to be more about specific people.
Yeah.
Not to say you guys won't talk about specific people, as a matter of fact, but we're going to be like deep diving the person itself, not their take on life, essentially.
What we know about the person, what we don't know about the person.
What we like and dislike.
Yes, I think that'll be an interesting segment.
And then I also can see this getting just a lot of fuckery that, matter of fact, probably won't tap into as much.
You think Keaton could fit in pretty well over here?
I could see him being. I was thinking about that. I could see him being on an episode.
Pretty good.
I think Seth could be on an episode too.
Definitely.
I think.
Oh, Abaddon.
The thing about the avenues that we're tapping into is the reason that the Conscious Cast works is because those avenues can all be blended together. Like Clout can go into philosophy because the only reason that you know about philosophers is the clout that they have behind them.
Facts.
And
I would have to go and find them myself.
It's like when you guys were talking about like doing Greek mythology. It's like I would want to be on that episode. I love Greek mythology.
That would honestly be really cool.
And but it's more catered to you and Seth. It's more catered to me and you. The Conscious Cast is more catered to all of us. I see at some point in our lives where we'll have individual stuff with Keaton because he's just going to be regularly around. So
yeah, I'm excited for that. We're going to still try to do the Mad Days.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
I almost feel like that would be the conflict cast for you guys.
Fair. Yeah, I think me and him would talk about fighting.
Yes.
I think we would talk about who's in the game right now.
I think you guys would talk a lot of shit.
We would talk a lot of shit.
Yeah.
We're just now getting to the point where me and him are disagreeing on things.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
I think it's good.
I think it's good as well.
Because I think you both are capable of debate, even though Keaton's illiterate.
Yeah, Keaton doesn't know how to read or write, so I think I would win that one.
But I think it's healthy for any relationship to have debate in it.
I agree. I think that's the only way that it can be real.
Yeah.
There's no way we're going to agree on everything, and if we are, then one of us isn't making statements.
Well, because it's like when I want to be friends with you guys, I want to be friends with who you really are, not whatever I want you to be.
Right.
It's like, of course, there's like an ego side of me that's like, I want it this way.
Right. I'm the same way.
Come to find out sometimes that the way that you want it isn't even the best way. And then if you come and meet in the middle, that was actually the best way. Because now you get a little bit of both.
Yeah. And it wasn't even, I would say this podcast was a good example of that. Exactly.
True.
Literally, this whole podcast came as an idea. I already said it at the beginning, but we were just thinking of more things that we could do, just you and me, because we don't have anything that we do, just you and me. And I was like, I would have a third podcast a week. Like, what would we talk about? And then, honestly, at first, it was like, I have no idea. And then, like, 5 seconds passed, and it's like, oh, there's, like, hundreds of things that we could talk about.
We could come up with something if we really wanted to.
We could have a whole episode about the weekend. We could somehow make it 2 hours.
I'm sure we could.
Somehow. It's fucking ridiculous.
But, yeah, I mean, I think I'm ready to wrap this up.
Fair. Do you have an outro idea?
I did not have an outro idea.
So would you say this is the end?
I would.
Are we turning it off?
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys, and hanging out.
Everybody that commented, honestly.
You got to go to the right.
Oh, you were still here this whole time?
Dude,
all right.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Appreciate